Hello, my name is North, and I'm bringing you another Q&A episode. Basically, in this Q&A series, I answer your questions every week, every Thursday. So if you want to leave me questions for next week's video, then leave them on this video in the comment section, or on Twitter, or on Miiverse, or on the PlayStation Network. So yeah, I'm just going to get on with the questions, but before I do, this week is time for the Wii U. So basically what I do in this Q&A series, if you don't know, one week I post Wii gameplay to get rid of the Wii gameplay on my external hard drive, and then the next week I post Wii U gameplay. So this week it's time for the Wii U, it's the turn for Wii U gameplay. So you are watching some Splatoon gameplay in the background. Hopefully you will enjoy it. Had a lot of fun capturing these gameplays, as you can probably tell when you do watch the gameplay. So I'm just going to get on with the questions. So the first question is asked by Awesome Platter. When do you think Zelda Twilight Princess HD will come out on Wii U? Well, first things first, it hasn't been officially confirmed yet, but I think it's safe to say that we will definitely be getting a HD remake for Twilight Princess. There is just too much evidence out there for it not to come out, for it to not exist. When do I think it will come out? I think it will come out either at the end of this year or at the start of next year, in the first half of next year. I can't really see it coming out around about this time next year, just because that's when I think Zelda Wii U or Zelda NX, whatever you want to call it, will come out. So I think it will either release at the end of this year or it will release at the very start of next year, maybe between January to April. That's when I think it will come out, just because at this moment in time we don't really know of too many games that are coming out for the Wii U. I do believe Pokemon Tournament is coming out, I think probably around about springtime. I can't really think of other Wii U games that are coming out as well. So they definitely need to fill out the 2016 schedule on the Wii U. So I could definitely see it coming out at the start of next year. But who knows, we could possibly see it at the end of this year. The next question also comes in from Awesome Platter. Do you think Nintendo should launch the Nintendo NX console with Splatoon 2? And do you think we will get FIFA for it? Do I think Nintendo should launch the NX with Splatoon 2? I think it's too early for another Splatoon game. As much as I would love to see a second Splatoon game as soon as possible, I think they should launch the NX with a Zelda game, a 3D Mario game. I think it's too early for a Splatoon 2. I think a Splatoon 2 would be a perfect game for the year after the NX launches, just because if the NX does launch in 2016, then it's only been about 18 months since Splatoon Wii U launched, so I think it's kind of a bit too soon to release a sequel for Splatoon. But I definitely think they will do a sequel for Splatoon on the NX. And do I think we'll get FIFA for it? It all depends on what the architecture is like for the NX. If it is similar to the other consoles, then I think we will get it. But if it isn't, then I don't think we will get any third party support at all. That's just how I feel. So hopefully we'll get FIFA. Hopefully we'll get a FIFA game which doesn't have missing features, just because the last FIFA game we got, FIFA 13 on the Wii U, didn't have Ultimate Team. So if that is the case for FIFA on the NX, then I won't be picking up FIFA on the NX, I will be picking it up on the PS4. And the next question also comes in from Awesome Platter. Do you think the Nintendo NX console will be download only games? And if you was the president of Nintendo, what would you do? I don't think the NX will be download only. I think that would just cause a massive backlash for Nintendo. Everybody loves to hate Nintendo as it is, and if Nintendo gave the ammunition like that, then people just have a field day with it. So I don't think it will be download only, but I think there is a possibility that they could ditch optical disc. I can't flip and speak, but they could ditch discs for cartridges based on that patent. And if it was president of Nintendo, what would I do? Well, in terms of that, I wouldn't make it download only. I would just do one SKU where you just get everything you get. You know, if it is a hybrid, you get the console and you get the handheld as well. I wouldn't possibly do two SKUs just because if they did, or if developers want to develop for the NX, then if they want to develop for the handheld as well and they don't do like just one bundle, then there could be the possibility that people don't have the handheld. So, you know, you see a lot of people or a lot of developers on the other consoles, they don't develop for the PlayStation Move and the Kinect just because those things aren't bundled with the console. So I think if the NX is a hybrid, then I think there should only be one bundle out there with the NX console and the handheld, so that it encourages people to develop for the handheld as well. I don't want to see a situation where the NX comes out, there's a console bundle as well as a handheld bundle, but people just don't develop for the NX handheld and it just goes the way as the Kinect and the PlayStation Move, and nobody but the first party develops for it. So I'm hoping Nintendo will just do one SKU, but I think they will do two, just because I think if they did do an SKU for the handheld and the console bundled together, then I think that would be really, really expensive. So I can just see them doing like maybe 3 SKUs. Maybe they could do an SKU where they do a console bundle only, then another SKU where they just like release a handheld and that's it. So yeah, that's what I think they could do. What would I do if I was Nintendo's president? Well, I would release the NX in 2016, and I would release it with a proper marketing campaign in Japan, Europe, and America. I would make sure that is spot on, because it's alright making a product, but you have to make people aware of that product. And the problem with the Wii U is there wasn't a marketing campaign over here in the Wii U to start with. Well, we had a few ad campaigns which never got aired, so I would make sure that if we did create a marketing campaign, then I'll make sure that I'll pay the top dollar to make sure that it will get aired on top networking stations instead of just the children's networks. That's what I would do. And I would make sure that people are aware that the NX is a new console, and not just a handheld console or not just another Wii U. That's what I would do if I was Nintendo's president. And I would launch the NX with Zelda, and I would launch it with 3D Mario as well, just to create hype, just to create buzz for the console. And yeah, that's just pretty much what I'll do as president of Nintendo. The next question comes in from Mr. Speeder. Will you ever play older games on your channel, such as PS1 games? I definitely want to do some sort of series where I go back to some of the games that I played back when I was a kid. I really want to buy Hogs of War again for the PS1, just because my disc for that broke. And I didn't know at the time that you can actually get discs fixed, so I ended up chucking that disc away. So I definitely want to pick up Hogs of War again, but the trouble is, Hogs of War, it costs something like £20, and at this moment in time I'm not sure if I can record PS1 and PS2 gameplay. I definitely need to test it out though, just because I really want to do Hogs of War on my channel, do a playthrough of that, as well as maybe Star Wars Battlefront 2 and all of the Time Splitters games as well. Definitely I want to do that sort of stuff on my channel. I did early on my channel back in 2012, I did do a few Time Splitters videos, so weren't the best videos, but they're the only PS2 content that I've got up at this moment in time. I definitely want to record more on my channel. It's just finding the time. I don't think I will have the time at the end of this year, but possibly at the start of next year, when possibly not many games will be coming out. That would be the perfect time to record a few PS1 games as well as a few PS2 games as well. And the last question comes in from IT Gamer 35. What are the specs of your PC? Well, my PC downstairs, which is the only PC in the house, is the family's PC. I don't have a laptop or anything, so there's literally just one PC in the house. And the specs of that PC are that it's got, I can't remember from the top of my head now. I think it's Intel i5 330 is the processor. It's got 8 gigs of RAM. The graphics card is just integrated. It's just a Intel HD graphics card, which is just absolutely rubbish. But I don't want to spend the money on improving the graphics card when I may not possibly use the computer, just because other people in the house need to use the computer as well. So there's not much point me putting a really good graphics card in there if somebody just uses it just to go on Microsoft Word. It's just not much point for me to do that, and plus I'm more of a console gamer anyway, so that is why I play more games on like the PS4 and the Wii U. I'm just not a PC gamer, and if I was, then I wouldn't be guaranteed to use the PC downstairs anyway. So yeah, that is just all of the questions for this Q&A episode. This Q&A has actually gone on longer than what I thought it would do. So I'd just like to thank everybody who asked questions for this Q&A. I'm not sure what gameplay you're watching in the background. I might have run out of Splatoon gameplay, so if I have, I must apologise if you are staring at a black screen. Make sure you leave questions for next week's Q&A. But until next time, I'm out of here for now. Goodbye.